Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Harmony Nice. Today I'm continuing my Enchanted Endeavours series and I'm continuing talking about the Wiccan holidays today, and this one will be all about Samhain. I know what you're thinking, what the fuck Harmony, why is this video up so early? You usually upload your Sabbath videos literally on the day or like the day before the Sabbath comes around. Two reasons. Firstly, I was supposed to do a very highly requested Enchanted Endeavours episode today, but unfortunately I could not do that for a couple of reasons, so that will be going up at the end of next week as my second video of next week. And also, I was thinking it's better to get this video up a lot earlier because this is a very important Sabbath as opposed to literally the day before the Sabbath comes around, which is what I usually do because, you know, we're already the 12th, it's gonna come around really quickly. Let's just freaking do this video today. But before I start this video, as some of you guys may know, I work very frequently with this amazing app for people much like you and me who practice paganism, Wicca or witchcraft, called Pagan and Witches Amino, which you obviously or may have heard me speak about before. So if you guys have not heard me speak about this fantastic app before, it's an amazing app that includes things like posts, public chat and photo sharing of various amounts of things like spells, tips, tricks, lots of different information coming from a wide range of people, all embarking on either a pagan, Wicca or witchcraft journey. So it's super helpful no matter where you are in your spiritual journey or what you are doing. Recently, Amino have added a new feature to the public chat section of the app called Voice Chat, which you can access through the public chat area. This feature allows you to be able to chat to other members on the app through a public chat, but it's more personal and immediate because you're actually voice chatting to them. They can send you text questions that you can answer live, or you can speak to them live. There's two different ways to access this new feature, either by joining an existing voice chat on the app or creating and activating your own voice chat, which is such a freaking cool idea. So in my collaboration with Pagan and Witches Amino, I will be using this live voice chat feature on the app this Friday, the 13th of October at 5 o'clock for an hour until 6 o'clock, and I will be doing a live Q&A for anybody that may have any questions they want to ask me about Wicca or whatever, and I can answer live. Anybody can live stream this Q&A on Friday, but only the first 100 people to join this live voice chat will be able to participate in asking me text questions. Be sure to look for my public chat in the public chat section that will be called Harmony Nice's Q&A. Try to arrive like at least 10 minutes before or something like that to secure your place in the 100 people that will be able to send text messages to me that I can answer. But if you do not make this 100 people that are able to send me text questions, you can still live stream into the chat, you just won't be able to text me questions, so you can still be able to watch it and everything like that. I think you guys will really enjoy this new feature on the app, as I feel like it helps to connect you with other members in an easy way that's also more personal to get to know other members. Please remember the new voice chat feature is only available via the main Amino app, so you can only access it through the main Amino app, so do not go on the standalone Pagan Witches app. You have to download the actual Amino app to be able to use this feature, so just bear that in mind please, if not you won't be able to use it. So make sure you download this standalone app if you'd like to be part of this Q&A on Friday, if you just want to use the voice chat feature in general. Be sure to follow me over there, and I will put the links to my account on Pagan and Witches Amino so you can give me a follow, and I'll also put a link to the app down below so you guys can check it out. I definitely think you should go and download this app and the standalone app and the standalone Pagan and Witches app too, because they're so freaking amazing and I know you guys love them. And also I'll put the dates and times when I'm doing the live Q&A on there just to remind you, so you can just check that all out there. But yes, with all that being said, I really look forward to chatting you all guys live on Friday. I'm very excited to do it. This is the first time of me ever doing something like this, so please tune in, give me someone to talk to. Now getting on to the video. So this video is going to be all about the Sabbath Samhain. I'm going to be discussing when the Sabbath is in the southern and the northern hemisphere. I'm going to be discussing what the Sabbath is all about, the briefing on what the Sabbath is all about and why us Wiccans celebrate it, how to decorate your altar for the Sabbath, things you can do at this Sabbath, crystals, herbs, incense, candles, decorations, activities, spells, etc. Things you can do at the Sabbath, basically all about this Sabbath in general, food you can eat and everything relevant to it. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's just hop right into the video. I have some sweet buttery anxiety today, so I'm extremely sorry if there's fuckloads of jump cuts in this video. So firstly, starting off with the complete basics, when is Samhain? So most of you guys probably know Samhain is coming up very soon. You can actually celebrate Samhain in the northern hemisphere on the 31st of October or the 1st of November, depending on, some traditions do prefer to celebrate it on the 1st of November, and some people like to celebrate it on the 31st evening all the way to November the 1st morning. But like I said, it's completely personal. I like to celebrate it on the 31st of October, but that's just my personal preference. And as for the southern hemisphere, if you guys are not not aware, there is actually a bit of controversy about Samhain in the Southern Hemisphere and when you should celebrate Samhain in the Southern Hemisphere. There's only 2 spirit nights in the whole of these Sabbats, and we believe that the veil is lifted between us and the dead, and also it represents a new mark of a Wiccan's new year. I will get into that more in a little bit. So a lot of Wiccans believe that we should all celebrate this on the same day. Again, of course, like I say always, I think it is complete personal choice. You need to remember to stick to what is true and what feels right to you. A lot of Wiccans in the Southern Hemisphere choose to celebrate the day on a more appropriate day to them due to seasonal differences, which is actually on May the 1st, which is when us guys in the Northern Hemisphere celebrate Beltane. I do think it makes sense to celebrate them on different dates because obviously all of the Sabbats are about seasons and things like that, and it does just make more sense that they celebrate it on a different date like with the rest of the Sabbats. Because Beltane is also a spirit Sabbat, it does make sense to celebrate it on this day as well, since you can celebrate it exactly the same way as we would celebrate it now, and it makes it very, very possible to celebrate it the same way. But please, like I said, stay true to you. Whatever you do, whatever feels right, definitely go for it. So what is Samhain and why do us Wiccans celebrate it? Samhain can be seen as one of the biggest Sabbats in all, and for a lot of Wiccans the biggest Sabbat of them all, and I do agree with this. I do personally think it is the biggest Sabbat of them all. Wheel of the Year has now turned a full circle, so for a lot of Wiccans means our new year as well. Also, this is the 3rd and final part of our harvest, and also it is a warning that winter's coming and colder days are coming very, very soon. The days to come after this will be shorter and darker, and darkness will slowly begin to take over the next few months. Whether you guys know this or not, Samhain is actually a Day of the Dead. It's a celebration of the deceased. So technically it's a Wiccan or Witches like Day of the Dead. It's time to say goodbye to the previous year that has just left us and honour the dead and our loved ones, or the dead in general. This time of the year people believe that there are spirits wandering. Sounds really depressing, but it's not. We are literally just paying our respects and appreciating the lives that they had and kind of celebrating their lives more, and also kind of celebrating death and realising and celebrating that there can be no life without death, there can be no death without life. This is the time with the sun god or the horn god that represents the green earth, the animals, fertility, everything like that starts to descend into the underworld, which inevitably lifts the veil between us and Summerland. So it makes it the best time for us to communicate with the dead and our deceased loved ones. Triple Goddess is in her crone phase, and she swallows the sun god and the horn god, and she will give birth to them with hope and promise again when winter solstice or Yule comes around. So now I've kind of explained a little bit what it's all about. How do you celebrate this Sabbat, and how do I personally celebrate this Sabbat? This is probably one of the most fun Sabbats to celebrate. It's such a joyous occasion, despite it sounding kind of depressing. It's not. It's definitely very, very much still a massive celebration. There's just gonna be a warning because this is gonna be a very, very long part of the video because there's so freaking much you can do on this Sabbat. It's absolutely crazy, and I've done so much on these Sabbats of the years previously, so there's a lot of information in this part. As for every single Sabbat, there's a load of things that you can do on this Sabbat, and so much things that are relevant to the Sabbat, so I'm just going to hop right into it. As always, to start with, I'm going to start with the fun part, which is the altar, and more importantly, what to decorate your altar with at this time. Starting with the good stuff, crystals and stones to place at your altar around this time of year are ones like black tourmaline, smoky quartz, obsidian, jet, brass, clear quartz are all wonderful for this time of the year. Dark crystals in general are great. They are amazing to meditate with around this time of year, using divination around this time of year, definitely, and also to do crystal magic if you're looking for something to do around this time of year as well. They're all great for all those things. Great incenses to burn at your altar at this Sabbath are incenses like myrrh, nutmeg, mint. They're all absolutely amazing to burn at this time of year. Nutmeg is my absolute favourite incense ever, or one of them anyway, always. Things like basically anything from your herb garden. If you've not harvest your herb garden yet, go harvest your herb garden and dry those herbs out. But actual specific herbs that are good for your altar are things like calendula, rosemary. I believe that apple leaf and bay leaf are also really, really great. Also garlic, and also things like pumpkin seeds. Lots of different seeds, especially pumpkins, are absolutely amazing. Now actually getting into decorating it, which is the best part. So a great way to actually celebrate the Sabbath is creating an altar that honours the dead, or more importantly, honours your ancestors and loved ones that have passed and the dead in general. Placing things at your altar, firstly, things like photographs of deceased loved ones, or items or memorabilia of deceased loved ones, or anything like that at your altar is an amazing thing to do to honour them and honour the dead. Obviously, as it's a celebration of the dead, things like fake skulls, fake skeleton, things like that, or actual real animal bones or anything like that you may have collected. Some people like to do this quite a lot. We celebrate not only your loss, but also nature's loss too, and the life that it gave us. Also, people like to do, like I said, place like an animal bone or something like that, but also place like feathers or like things that they find that are from deceased animals at that altar as well. Obviously, naturally, like, you can go out and find these things, but never ever harm anything for it. And always ask to take it, and always make sure you put it back after you've used it for the Sabbat, because it is actually traditionally the last harvest, which is the harvest of like the slaughter of the animals, which is very upsetting. But it's also very nice to honor them and all that. Once again, much like Mabon, autumn leaves, things, you know, you find around, like acorns and things like that, all really great to put to your altar too. Other things like gourds, pumpkins, people like to put black cat figurines, crows, since crows seem to be a representation of death, and black cats, if they have a relation to some of your deities, which they do, they have a relation to Freya the Norse god and things like that, you can put them there as well to pay your respects there. Other great things, I forgot to mention this, are things, candles as well, obviously. Great candles to put to your altar at this time of the year are black candles, silver candles, gold candles, orange candles, white candles. Orange tends to represent the earth at its current state that it is in. Black candles are a very warm candle, so actually it can be used to entice loved ones' spirits and things like that to find somewhere warm once they are wandering out at the night of Samhain. Silver, gold and white, I believe silver and white represent the moon and gold represents the sun. They are all absolutely amazing candles. Also, draping cloth these colours or tying ribbon these colours, if you don't have these specific type of candles, is also a very great thing to do. Also, wearing these colours during that day is a very good thing to do, a very nice sign of respect for the Sabbath. And at night, some people like to change into costume of some sort, which I will get into, which brings me to the activities part of this video. As some of you guys may know, or some of you may have heard of, Samhain can be seen as a sort of night of mischief, especially if you work with fairy energies. Like I said, a lot of people believe around this time of year there are spirits wandering, and also negative spirits will be wandering too. So people either like to wear black to kind of show respect for the deceased, no matter whether they're good, bad, negative, whatever. Some people like to wear white, which actually is supposed to be a symbol of kind of like tricking the negative spirits into thinking you are a ghost as well, which is an interesting fact. Of course, some people like to dress up as a ghoul or a skeleton or a ghost or something like that for a few reasons as well. Again, one of them is to trick these spirits that are wandering, that are negative, that don't mean any good, and things like that, and to trick the fairy energies if you work with fairy energies. Or again, pay respect to the dead, and some people like to do that to kind of put them in the position of the dead people and kind of put yourself in their shoes for a night and kind of join the people on the other side of the veil and honor them for a night. Now going into the more of the serious activities, stuff like spell work and ritual work, this is the best time of the year for divination, and I cannot stress this enough. All kinds of divination is great, but I've seen that scrying is one of the best ones to do this time of the year, which I haven't actually tried scrying on Samhain yet, so I'm definitely going to try that this year. But all divination is absolutely amazing for this time of the year. Because the veil is lifted, it's believed that you get a greater insight into the future and more accurate insight into the future. It's also one of the most powerful times of the year, since you have all these spirits and these energies working around with you. So if you have any spell work that is greater and requires a lot more work and effort, and the bigger spell work, you could say, this is definitely the time of year to do that, like 100%. Any big spells you want to do at Samhain. I know this is literally going to be my like night for spell work. Whether it be a love spell, sex spells are really great for this time of the year, protection, hope, power. It's definitely time to do it. It's also a really great time to banish any negativity that may have happened in your past. Make sure it doesn't return in our new year and in the future as the new wheel of the year begins. This is also actually the best and seen to be one of the safest time to do things like Ouija boards and seances and go to mediums and things like that. Read up about this a little bit more because of course the veil is lifted. You can connect with absolutely everything. So everything's a bit more open and you're not just gonna get spirits coming down that just are there to disturb. You're open to absolutely everything. And of course, loved ones' spirits are close around this time of the year. So that is why people believe that it is a good time to do this time of the year. Of course, saying that, please proceed and do this with absolute caution. Make sure you're not like messing around and showing disrespect on this night. This is a very, very important time to respect the deceased. Remember, you are still open to negative spirits as well. Bonfire rituals are also amazing to connect with the dead and do things like that as well. Like, because of the heat and the warmth and everything like that attracts all these spirits around this time of the year. So they're also amazing to do. Anything with fire is amazing to do, candle magic, etc. So now for the actual activities that you can do despite the spell work. So this and Yule is all a great time to renew things. So if you want to renew your altar, you want to renew your wand, and you want to go collect some bits for your altar or your wand, you want to replace anything at your altar, ready for the new year, your broom, anything like that, this is a very, very great time to do it. Yule is also a very, very good time to do it, but this is too. Of course, if you feel like you need to, because this is the most powerful time of the year for magic, and a lot of people believe that it's the best time to introduce your new tools to you. Some people like to leave it and wait until Yule and use all their tools they've got and they've got used to at Samhain. But again, it's completely personal preference, it's personal choice. I think it just depends on the Wiccan and what they feel is best. And also, there is actually a lot of spells that you can do this time of the year that are good for people that may not be very experienced in it. You can actually do spells with like little items, like things like apples, apple leaves. You can do things with herbs, you can do things with pumpkins, you can do things with seeds and things like that, and you can actually incorporate them into divination, things like that. If you just want to do like a little ritual or a little spell, there's loads of amazing things like that that you can learn, or may not be ready for bigger spell work, but you just want to still do something like that. Also, do not be disappointed if you're a Wiccan and thinking, oh my god, like carving pumpkins. Yes, you can, good friend, you can do it this year, because carving pumpkins was originally a pagan thing. So of course we carve pumpkins with faces in, or carve them with other things like that in, and we place a spirit candle in. And originally this was done to actually leave outside your doorstep or leave at your altar to basically scare any negative spirits or any negative wandering spirits that may be around, just to let them know they are not welcome. Around this time of year, we like to entice our loved ones into our house, which I will get more into in a second. A lot of people like to leave photos and memorabilia, like much like you do at your altar, but in the window, so the spirits you'd like to kind of join you, like your deceased loved ones and things like that, can all know they're welcome. You can also, out of a sign of respect to all the wandering spirits, you can leave food offerings outside, which is a really, really lovely thing to do. Kind of a show to respect all of the deceased and your loved ones, which is why it's important to have collected everything from your herb garden and things like that, because that may be seen as an offering. And obviously if you like to keep it all, you would harvest it all and take it in, because if not, traditionally, it would be believed if you did leave anything out, it would be bad luck for next year's harvest and things wouldn't bloom and things like that. So make sure you do that before this Samhain. Also, going for walks and visiting loved ones' graves or memorials and things like that is a great thing to do. Some people like to go to lots of people's graves, whether they may be related to them or not, and leave them nice little flowers or offerings or things like that, but mainly going to loved ones and paying your respect to their graves and things like that. Some people like to do this a few days before Samhain so that they know that they are welcome into your house for Samhain. And again, some people like to carve jack-o'-lanterns and leave it on graves as well, just so it keeps the negative spirits away from them in their journey if you want them to come visit you on Samhain. Another great thing to do that I forgot to mention earlier is actually a lot of people like to list a lot of negative things that may be in their life or in their life in the past that they want to get rid of and want to let go of as the new wheel of the year begins. So they would list all the negative things down. Either some people like to do it on herbs like bay leaves, write them on leaves and things like that, more natural way to do it, or sage leaves or things like that. And some people just like to write them on bits of paper and burn them, which is a very, very nice thing to do as well. And then they like to write a list of all the new things that they would like to encourage in their lives, and either like hang them at their altar, some people like to bury them in the ground or things like that. It kind of just depends how you like to do it, but there's lots of different amazing ways to do that. So going back to honouring loved ones, as you may have mentioned that I've been saying that if you'd like your loved ones to come visit you for a bit, a lot of people on this day believe that this is the one time of the year where their loved ones come to visit them. Because like I said, obviously the veil is lifted at this time of year. So lots of people like to throw a feast like every Sabbath. We fucking love food. And they like to actually invite their loved ones to be with them this feast. So like I said, you can do this by like enticing them, if you lay out pictures of them in your window and things like that, and put black candles around them to entice them to the warmth and things like that to get them to come visit. And during the feast, people like to lay extra seating for whoever they've invited to come visit with you, and lay a plate for them, which definitely I think is a very, very important thing to do, and that's definitely something I will be taking part in this year. And this leads me to the part that we've all been waiting for, which is food. Of course, like I said, a feast with your loved ones is a great thing to do on every single Sabbath, especially this one though, either having a feast with your coven, friends, family, loved ones, no matter who, just anybody you'd like to have or share this Samhain with. Like I said, to welcome your loved ones back home, to honour them and give the wandering spirits a place to be for the night. People like to do this anyway, even if they don't have family members that are deceased, and just welcome spirits into their house. And there is actually a lot of great food around this time of year. Unfortunately, one of the main foods to eat around this time of the year, since it is the third and final harvest, like I said, the slaughter and things like that, is a lot of meat and poultry. But of course, that does not have to be done. If you eat meat, then that is something you can do. But if you do not, you're a vegetarian or vegan, there are so many amazing meat and poultry substitutes that you can have. And you can enjoy some amazing things like roasted vegetables, roasted parsnips, roasted potatoes, pumpkin soup, pumpkin seeds, pumpkin pie, seeds in general. I'm going to attempt to make a pumpkin buttermilk bread recipe this year. I don't know how it's going to be. It might be a bit weird. Ginger is great too. Donuts, corn, popcorn, corn on the cob. All relevant because that just represents the harvest, what the harvest has given us and what we have had over this summer, what is produced for us. So loads of things like that are really, really nice. Apples, spiced apple cake, apple bread, apple pie. Also fucking lots of awesome alcohol like mulled wine, apple cider, cider in general, pear cider, spiced wines, warm and cold alcohol. If you're under 18 or don't like alcohol, apple juice, warm, non-alcoholic apple cider. The possibilities are endless and they're all relevant to the absolutely amazing Samhain. Literally, I could go on for absolutely ages about the Sabbath and all the things you should do, but I'm gonna stop now because I just looked at how long I've been recording this video for, and it's a long time, and I'm getting really, really hyped now. Really hyped for it. So now I've discussed what you can do at Samhain. What are you doing at Samhain, Harmony? I'm glad you asked. So I'm actually celebrating it a lot this year. I'm actually celebrating it for like 4 days straight. I'm obviously going to decorate my altar in a lot of the ways that I've discussed in this thing. I'm collecting a lot of things at the minute. I'm just starting to decorate it, but I'll be sure to post a picture like on my Instagram story or on Pagan and Witches Amino or something once it is done. I will be decorating that this week. And I'm going to visit my nan's grave and place some offerings on where she is resting at the minute, which I definitely feel like is a very, very important Samhain. I've done it like every single year since I first started my Wicca journey and since she died, so definitely that's a very, very important thing to do, so I'm going to be doing that. I'm actually going to be visiting my friend Marina that I always speak about. Wee Marina! I'm actually going to go visit her at uni, and that's probably the night that we're going to go out, actually like celebrate and drink and things like that and have a meal to celebrate the Samhain, but that'll be a few days before the Samhain. So when it actually comes to the actual Samhain, what I'm doing on the day and around that day, etc., where the kind of actual celebrations and spell work and ritual work and things like that begins. I have an actual major ritual plan that I'd like to actually do on Samhain Eve that I've been planning for a very, very long time, and it's a huge one and I really, really want to do it because it's a lot of to do with things of like letting go and things like that. So I'm very, very excited to do that. I'm also this year planning to do my first necromancy, which a lot of people I know were gonna say don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. I've been planning it for a very, 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 very long time now. I'm doing a controlled environment. I'm not doing a Ouija board. That's all you have to know. Also, I'm going to be doing some traditional things, like I'm going to be carving pumpkins, and also I'm going to be replacing a lot of things at my altar. I've recently found a lot of things that I'd like to incorporate into my altar, so I'm going to be doing a lot of work with that, kind of introducing them to my practices and things like that. I'm also going to be taking time to do some divination on the day, since like I said, divination is a really, really big part of it. I'm kind of leaning towards doing scrying since I've been reading up on doing it on Samhain, and a lot of people say it's like amazing. So I may do that, but I also want to do tarot cards too. I'm probably also going to be having a meal with my family on this day as well. I'd like to welcome these spirits that we have lost recently in our family and things like that. And mainly my nan, like definitely. I think it's a really, really cool idea. So I'm definitely going to be doing that and placing pictures in the windows and things like that. Also, I'm going to be making my vegan buttermilk bread this year. Again, I'm incorporating pumpkin things into it. If you did not see my buttermilk bread recipe, is actually on my Instagram. Like I may put a link to it somehow. It's great to do with every single Sabbath with an amazing charm. If you'd like to know the charm, feel free to message me. This is going to be an actual big one for me, and I'm doing quite a lot that I said in the video, but I'm not going to keep talking about it. But I know I've got loads of other things that I want planned as well, but I'm not going to run on for ages. But I'm doing a lot this Sabbath, as you can tell. It's my favourite Sabbath. It's a big one for Wiccans. I'm so excited. So that is all I have for you today. And I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have an amazing Samhain. Obviously, I'm gonna be back later on this week with another video. It's really weird, like I'm actually getting this video up in time. What the fuck, Harmony? You're so professional. I really hope it helps you. I hope you enjoyed these Wiccan holiday episodes. I've had so much fun doing them, and I know you guys really, really like them, so I really, really hope you enjoy. Obviously at Yule, as you guys may know, I'm going to start vlogging these Sabbats, which I'm super, super excited about. So that'll be my kind of new little extra thing that I'll be doing about the Sabbats every single time for the whole 8 Sabbats. So that would be my new kind of addition to Enchanted Endeavours. So my next video will be up later this week, and then later next week, the highly requested Enchanted Endeavours episode that I've been promising you for a long time will be up as well, so that will still be up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you for all the support, and I will see you later this week. Bye guys. Shower in!